In the core of Brazil, within a park identified as Paturas, an ominous specter hovered. This park, cradled in the urban landscape of Carapicuíba, was far more than merely a sanctuary for flora and fauna aficionados. Little was known that this seemingly tranquil park was on the verge of transforming into spine-chilling hunting zone for an invisible terror. During the span from July 2007 to August 2008, a sequence of 13 heinous murders transpired in this now feared location. The victims, all gay males aged between 20 and 40, were predominantly executed with gunshots to the cranium, their existences tragically truncated in a place they once deemed secure. This wasn't the doing of a sporadic or a hasty act of malevolence. Rather, these were the meticulous deeds of an isolated, unidentified persona, a serial murderer who would later be associated with a misleadingly vibrant alias, the Rainbow Maniac. The Rainbow Maniac didn't merely exterminate, he fixated. His victims were singled out with a bone-chilling precision, a horrifying testament to his undeviating determination. Each man was a member of the LGBTQ+ community, each one assassinated due to their identity and whom they cherished. This was a predator who discovered his hunting territory within Paturas Park, a sought-after gathering locale for local gay men. He morphed a site of unity and bonding into an arena of dread, and the Rainbow Maniac, faceless and anonymous, instilled terror into the core of the community, transforming a refuge into a nightmare. The park, which once stood as a beacon of liberty and acceptance, rapidly transitioned into a morose memento of the bigotry and malevolence that can conceal itself in the as the tally of corpses surged, the fear followed suit. Who was the Rainbow Maniac? And who was next on his list? The platform was prepared for a somber narrative of murder and mystique. In the nucleus of Brazil, within a park called Paturas, an ominous specter hovered, and the Rainbow Maniac had merely commenced. Thus, the platform was prepared for a somber narrative of murder and mystique. As the Rainbow Maniac instigated his epoch of dread, the community shivered. The initial blood was shed on the 4th of July, 2007, traditionally a day of joyous commemoration and liberty, now tainted by the perverse turn of events. The final assassination occurred on a similarly notorious day, the Ides of March 2009, a date historically synonymous with treachery and demise. Technique of the Rainbow Maniac was unsettlingly unwavering. He targeted males, predominantly within the age bracket of 20 to 40, gunning them down from behind precisely in the back of their heads. Some may term it a coward's assault, while others might label it the signature of a cold, calculated murderer. The victims were primarily from the LGBTQ+ community, adding an ominous dimension to the Rainbow Maniac's epithet. His favored territory was Paturas Park, a hotspot for sex workers and beloved gathering spot for gay men. The park, once a sanctuary of friendship and shared experiences, transformed into an amphitheater of dread and demise under the specter of the Rainbow Maniac. The community was enveloped by a tangible terror. Every stir in the park, every strange countenance, every unexpected noise in the darkness turned into a potential messenger of doom. The Maniac's reign coincided with the conclusion of the LGBTQ+ Pride Month, morphing the festive event into a period of uncertainty. Nonetheless, in spite of the unease, life pressed on. The park persisted as a meeting location. The community held fast, albeit with a cautious gaze perpetually cast over the shoulder. However, the fear was not solely about the assassin lurking among them. It was about the hatred, the bigotry, the brutality that a member of their community could harbor against their... Each passing day intensified the dread. The queries multiplied, and yet the answers remained elusive. As the casualty number escalated, the law enforcement agencies raced against the ticking clock to halt the madness. The pursuit of the Rainbow Maniac was a deadly game, a game against a culprit whose targets were chosen in eerie precision. With every life claimed, the pressing nature and fervor escalated. The inhabitants of Carapicuíba, specifically those belonging to the LGBTQ+ community, dwelled in trepidation, their daily routines overshadowed by the dread of the mysterious murderer. The police, frantic for leads, scrutinized their own personnel. Doubt was upon one of their members, a state police officer. The idea of a protector turned predator sent shockwaves across the community. The focus of the investigation eventually fell on retired Sergeant Jairo Francisco Franco. The retired lawman found himself ensnared in the intricate trap of the investigation, becoming a top in a grotesque sequence of homicides. Franco's arrest sparked a sliver of optimism. The community exhaled a cautious breath of relief. Could the reign of Rainbow Maniac ultimately be over? But the road to justice was far from effortless. Despite witness testimonies associating Franco with the atrocities, proof was ambiguous at best. The decisive evidence, both literally and figuratively, remained elusive. Examinations were carried out to establish if the same firearm was employed in all the homicides. The findings were unclear. The bullet fragments, the mute witnesses to the monstrous crimes, failed to conclusively associate Franco with the homicides. The case against him, once seemingly robust, began to fall apart. In 2011, Franco stood before a panel, his destiny teetering on the edge. The jury, after thoughtful contemplation, announced their decision. Franco was acquitted. The retired sergeant strode out a free man, while the dread of the Rainbow Maniac continued to torment Carapicuiba. Despite their utmost efforts, the enigma of the Rainbow Maniac lingered. The darkness of the unknown murderer, the unresolved queries, the unresolved homicides, they all persisted. The investigation, for all its pressing nature and fervor, had failed to unmask the Rainbow Maniac. The hunt for the assassin, it seemed, was far from concluded. In the aftermath of the Rainbow Maniac's spree, an unsettling truth surfaced. Beneath the festive vibrancy of Sao Paulo's streets, renowned for hosting the world's largest gay pride march, an insidious undercurrent of anti-gay aggression coiled, poised to attack. Astonishingly, this harsh dichotomy was revealed in Brazil, a nation commended for its forward-thinking laws against sexual bias. A paradox, it appears, where acceptance and prejudice engage in a perilous dance. The Rainbow Maniac's deeds were not isolated events, but a chilling mirror of a deep-rooted intolerance plaguing the nation, an intolerance seemingly flourishing despite the country's legal advancements towards equality. This intolerance wasn't spawned in isolation. Ultra-conservative evangelical factions with their far-reaching sway played a crucial part in vilifying homosexuality. Sermonizing from their platforms, they tainted the vibrant rainbows with shades of sin, inflaming fear and animosity towards the LGBTQ+ community. Their words, it seems, acted as a grim accompaniment to the Rainbow Maniac's fatal dance. But the disquieting truth is that it wasn't just the Rainbow Maniac accountable for these atrocities. Society too had a hand in it. The bystanders' silence, the insults hurled casually like confetti, the refusal to acknowledge the humanity and the otherness, these were all colluders in the tyranny of the Rainbow Maniac. As the reverberations of gunfire subsided, the Rainbow Maniac ended his killings, but the terror he ingrained, much like the pervasive intolerance that powered his actions, persisted. It was a bone-chilling signal that the true threat wasn't a singular individual, but a community that permitted such hate to burgeon and spill over into violence. The Rainbow Maniac had halted his killings, but the dread he encapsulated remained. In the aftermath of the Rainbow Maniac's reign of terror, the reverberations of his atrocities still resonate. The Rainbow Maniac's heinous deeds were not simply a series of disconnected events. They were a blatant display of the ingrained anti-gay sentiment that is often glossed over in our society. His crimes were a powerful alert of the very real dangers endured by the LGBTQ+ community every day, particularly in regions where prejudice and discrimination are rampant. The maniac's selection of Paturas Park as his hunting ground was far from random. This was a locale known as a sanctuary for LGBTQ+ individuals, a setting where they could express their identity without trepidation. The Rainbow Maniac turned this safe haven into a hunting ground, irrevocably staining its reputation. While the maniac's rampage concluded more than a decade ago, his bleak heritage of fear and violence still casts a long shadow over Brazil's LGBTQ+ community. His reign of terror delivered a chilling warning, a bleak reminder of the hatred that can dwell in the hearts of human beings. It served as an alarm bell to the community and to the world, revealing the harsh reality of the they encounter. Despite the terror, the Rainbow Maniac's transgressions also ignited a renewed drive for transformation. The LGBTQ+ community, while still wrestling with the fear and trauma, united in solidarity. They demanded justice, enhanced protection, and cessation of the violence and discrimination they face. Their voices, magnified by the horrors of the maniac's atrocities, echoed throughout Brazil and globally, spotlighting the pressing need for evolution. The of a suspect, a retired police sergeant, presented a flicker of hope. However, his acquittal was a stark reminder of the numerous obstacles that still await. It was a clear indication that the struggle for justice and equality is far from concluded. The Rainbow Maniac may have disappeared, but his bleak heritage endures, a chilling reminder of the shadows lurking within society. All is not lost, nonetheless. The Rainbow Maniac's reign of terror also acted as a catalyst, kindling a flame of resistance and resilience, a beacon of hope amidst adversity. It stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the LGBTQ+ community, a community that refuses to be silenced, a community that persists in its fight for its right to exist without fear.